industries, human capital, social services, and ultimately the future we are building for the next generation, he queried. Statistics revealed that between 2020 and 2023 alone, Nigeria experienced a staggering increase in immigration, particularly among young professionals and recent graduates. The World Bank estimated that over 900,000 Nigerians migrated abroad during this period, with top destinations being Canada, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Europe. Several factors drive this trend, including the search for better employment, educational
taken in by foreign countries.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people have forgotten, maybe when we were growing up, there were a lot of Indian teachers. Maybe at that time it was the Japa for the Indians. So they needed to go abroad to earn some money and also to take back some of those monies back to their country. And I think that maybe the reason why is a major concern is that we haven't lived up to our obligation as a country. What is the standard of living, for example, in Nigeria? We are talking inflation now. We are talking unemployment figures are staggering. We are talking about some insecurity that have been created maybe in the northeast, north central, northwest, and it's also being created in northeast, in the southeast. So all of these are a combination. Some people are running to where they can find greener pastures.
Yes. Okay,
but I think that, like I said the last time here, that what has happened in terms of the absorption of Nigerians who are migrating abroad means that the quality of education isn't that bad, even though we have this notion, necessary notion that our country's educational standards are low. Now, I think that I share the concern of the man from the Chamber of Commerce. Of course, everybody knows that so much is being done by Lonelywood, so much is being done by the musical industry. Those are creative aspects of our industry, and they are making money, all right? And so it means that you can succeed at home if your message and your ideas are correct. Now, but I think what we should be thinking about now is how best to, take advantage of this Japa thing. If you look at what's going on in Canada, what's going on in the United States, there's a great reversal in terms of government policy. They don't want foreigners anymore, including Nigerians. Yes. So what they're trying to do is to keep jobs for their own people. So if that is correct, the implication here, you take Canada for example, it says foreigners, including Nigerians, can't buy homes anymore. So what that means is that even if you are living in their country, you're going to be a tenant. So perhaps all of this should be positive for us. Government should find a way of always being in touch, and that's why we have embassies, always being in touch with our people, make them understand that there can be no better place than home. So if we do that, and be able to coordinate, their earnings, they bring their earnings back home and then invest in their own country, a time will come when they will also come back with experience and then contribute more meaningfully to what we are doing at home. Okay,
thank you very much, sir. Well, what do you think the government is not doing right at the moment? Because, yeah, some people will say the government cannot do everything for you. You sometimes, as an individual, you have to play your part. But what do you think the government isn't doing right that has made so many Nigerians to leave the country?
It all is inability to... We have inflation, which is galloping away at a very fast pace. And it makes nonsense of how much you earn, at the end of the day. Now, we've not been able to build the necessary synergy with the private sector because, of course, you know that the public sector has a limit to how many people you can absorb. In other words, you need to create wealth. Creating wealth is in the hands of the private sector. So, I think that perhaps one area that government hasn't done well, Montana shows people are dancing. That's not it. But I'm not going to say that dancing is important.
Yes.
But I'm thinking about those creative energies. people who have ideas in this country are allowed to die with the ideas. You know, so you and us, we started in the many years back programs. They've been able to develop sufficient content within the economy. But where are we? You know, so I think there's a problem. And it still boils down to what some people say is a leadership question. You know, the trouble is, I would think that if we were to engage in proper projections, we don't need to do everything at the same time.
True.
But let's choose, okay, if the issue is to provide energy, because energy will drive the economy, then let's do it. You know, you don't go around 27 when I was director of publicity in MAMSA. And when we were talking about self-reliance, we were talking about the ability to change the cultural setting of the ordinary Nigerian. When we said if they give you money, take the money, vote your conscience. Okay? Now, I don't know what kind of messages they are sending at this time. Because we need, it's a whole gamut. It's not something that you say, even if you are bringing policy, and policy is not understood.
Yes.
Then it will be difficult to get the people to appreciate the policy or even to respond to policy.
Thank you very much on this, Chief Woke. I really appreciate your analysis on this migration effects on the economy. Still at home, and these skills have not been implemented. They have not fostered
Excuse me, simply depressed means that you can shoot at targets miles away. You can see what is happening between Russia and Ukraine. You know, where drones and all are being mobilized. Now, the point, coming back home, we've never been short in ideas when it comes to what we should do about our youths. But the thing is, it is not deep enough. This is the point I was saying. The love for country doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, so you see a Nigerian talk down on this. Okay, this so-called, you say nobody's indispensable. Nobody's indispensable. I've heard that severally. Now we are complaining. Doctors are drifting. Sooner than later, oh, of course, nurses are gone. And they when they get abroad, showcase what they want, they get it all.
And I heard this story that the best nurses and doctors they have outside this country are Nigerians.
That is the truth. Then you ask yourself, why do we waste our time every time talking about quality of education? So that's why I said Nigeria has become a training ground, you know, for the rest of the world. You know, our doctors, if you remember, all of those epidemics that many thought would kill quite a lot of people, particularly in developing countries. Nigeria came out of it quicker and faster,
Yes.
you know, and to the shock of the world. How did they do it? Even COVID. While millions were dying in the United States, in Nigeria, millions were being saved. You know, for people who barely have equipment to work with.
Imagine if they had the equipment.
Now, so you understand the point that we are trying to drive. It is time to lay the foundation. Honestly speaking, if Tinubu didn't achieve anything, but achieved laying clear foundations for the revival of the economy, for the takeoff of our science and technology, Nigerians will remember him. But you see, success should not be measured by how much you put on the ground. It's how much impact it has had on the people. You know, I can say clearly, I live in Transamadi, and I've never seen the kind of economic activity in so many years that I'm seeing now. So there are a lot of activities going on, you know, economically. Unfortunately, it hasn't gotten into the ordinary man on the street, but it's an economic revival that is taking place. And all of us should support such a development, okay? And, but honestly, the youths are leaders of tomorrow. And those youths need to be encouraged to be focused, okay? Most are focused, but we must give them the wherewithal. You know, if you talk in terms of the Marshall Plan, for example, after the Second World War, not all the money spent under that plan succeeded. So if we spend so much on our youth and about